told Morani KGB. Kiri Kiri Lushini, got butterflies in my belly. Kori Kusoko Jekomo, Emma Bawion, Oroi Felai, the Adoni, Iru Amati Mofe, Wombela Rave, Ibigoru Kami, Oba Elewamu, Mofe Bae Tarubo, Mofe Bae Tale, Iwani Mofe Najiri, Lojujumahiri, Olomi, sweetheart, only to me, already, Ololufe, Ojuko, Shalatani, Lololuwa, Kusong Tuyawa, Olomi, only to me. I found a good thing, paid from above. I got that feeling, the same touch of love. After so long, the boyfriend was me. Now that you're here, I see the difference so clear. You all know to keep you as my own. Hurry, Mofeba and Taro boy, Mofeba and Tale. You want him with them, my Jimmy. Let's get your money.
Beautiful evening, beautiful people of Ibadan. Welcome again to Pillow Talk, your late night companion where heart speaks, mind connects, and love finds expression. I am your host for this amazing evening. It is the voice of MARVELLOUS, SOBALOJU, OYEDELE, your sumptuous Marvy. And tonight, like every other Tuesday night, we're going to be diving into the real, the raw, and the romantic. Everything that matters in relationships and everything that matters behind closed doors. As you already know, we have two amazing segments for you. We have the relationship talk segment and we have the other room segment. I know you'll be wondering, how come you didn't come in with, the perm? I just wanted to do something dynamic today. It doesn't have to be the same way every Tuesday night, right? This usually is not my style. Mostly I'll do the talking and then I play music after. But then let's just something up today. Alright, like I said, the Chip Talk segment. And for this particular one, this is where we get to explore the sweet highs, the tough lows, and every day in between of love and partnership. So whether you're dating someone, or you're married to someone, or you're single for some reason, or if you're even somewhere in between, this is the part for you. And once we're done with the relationship talk segment, we'll sleep trap into the other room. Yes, the other room. That's what we call it. And this is where we get to listen, we get to advise, and we get to help people, just like you, to help them solve their real life relationship issues. No judgment, remember, no shame, just real talk and sincere support. Once again, I say welcome to today's show. I just want us to soften up a little bit, but as we're doing that, I still want us to have some very frank talk. Just this morning, while I was going through headlines making the rounds from our dailies on Press, and I'm going to be reading that story to you because that's where I want us to talk from for today. So I'm going to start with this one that I got from the Punch newspaper about an Ondo girl that was nabbed for stabbing boyfriend to death. So the Ondo State Police Command on Monday, that's 2 days, what am I even saying? Yesterday, said it had arrested one Augustina for killing her boyfriend Michael in the state. The suspect stabbed the deceased to death following an argument that ensued between them over the headquarters of the Okitepupa local government area of the state. And speaking on the incident, the State Police Public Relations Officer, Mr. Olayinka Ayolade, said the suspect had been arrested and is currently in custody, noting that the command had begun an investigation into the matter. And according to the PPRO, he said, and I quote, "There was an argument between the two, which led to the suspect stabbing the victim with scissors. He later died in the hospital." Now, a source who actually spoke to newsmen on Monday on the condition of anonymity because he was not permitted to speak with the media explained that the two lovebirds had been cohabiting in a room apartment but had been having persistent disagreement over trusts and suspected cheating, adding that the misunderstanding. Now, there's a reason why I'm sharing this story with you. That's the truth. There's a reason. Because I think that we need to really restore the broken bonds. And this is a call to heal our relationships and rebuild our society. Lot of rubbish are happening lately. And you will agree with me that they are absolute nonsense. Trust issues. And then you will escalate, you will drag, you will fight. This is not the first time argument is happening. I'm sure in homes too, we have our ups and downs. We have our moments where we argue. But because we argue, does that affect? Sometimes it could be anything, any sharp object, and you want to just put it into the neck of your fellow human. I mean, if the fact that it's not human, it doesn't mean anything. There's another one that I want to talk about. This one, it did not kill. But there's a need to also address it because it's funny. Alright? It's so funny. A 29-year-old housewife faked her own kidnap in Asaba, Delta State. But then she has been arrested by the police, and that was after the husband had paid 3 million naira ransom. The suspect, Merit is her name. Merit, what a fine name. But her behavior is not fine at all. This suspect by the name Merit, while confessing during interrogation by the police on Monday, said that she used the 3.6 million naira loaned to her by her brother to sponsor her wedding, which took place in March this year. It was gathered that the loan was meant to purchase a tricycle, which she now diverted to her own wedding. She said the only way she could get the money back was to feign the kidnap. So she had to capitalize on the weakness of our society. They know that something like this, you hear that they've kidnapped one person, and then the only thing is, you know, she kidnapped herself because that's what it looked like. She kidnapped herself, and she extorted her husband of a way to raise the money. After she used her, the money given to her by her brother to purchase a tricycle to sponsor her own wedding. I mean, who sent you now? Must you do all of those things? Do you have to do an elaborate wedding? Now she's in prison. But that's not where I'm going. She said she was just thinking of way to actually raise the money. So she now came up with a plan that she was abducted. And the lady perfected the arrangement with one of the suspects who worked as a security guard at a place she had earlier worked. And the State Police Public Relations Officer, SP Bright Edafe, said on July 20, today is 29, the woman told her husband that she was coming, and the next thing he heard was that she had been kidnapped. The ransom of 3 million naira was paid. Two are the ones that are exposed. But it does not change the fact that lots of similar incidences are happening in homes lately. That's when people will be like, like we see a lot of rubbish going on in marriages lately. So you see why I had to title my own topic for today on Pillow Talk, especially the relationship talk segment, as restoring that broken bond. Because something must have been broken for you to now think outside of the box, and you rather commit crime, kidnap yourself, extort your wife or your husband, because it can be both ways. I've heard of a clergyman in Ekiti. That was earlier, maybe 2-3 years ago. A clergyman from, is it Methodist, or I think Methodist, society. Sorry, I'm not trying to come for you guys, but then this man was a clergyman. And you know what he did? He faked his own kidnap. And while the wife was wondering, crying, saying that joy for the money that they were nabbed, and that was what. So as we now gather ourselves together tonight like this to talk, we are not just talking as individuals, but we are talking as members of families. We are talking like community. We're talking about like a nation increasingly, growing. And we are talking because this society belongs to you and I. Just because you might think, even children are also scamming their parents. They will even kidnap themselves. Like, lots of nonsense. If they are not kidnapping themselves, who have noticed, especially if you are a lover of our Metro News, you would have also noticed that we have similar incidences of boyfriends killing their girlfriends stabbing their. Lots of those things are happening lately. And more than ever, our society is crying out, not for wealth or for fame, but our society is crying out for healing, for understanding, and for strong relationships. It looks to me more like we are only living for now. We can switch any moment from now. It is not genuine anymore. There is a poem by Gabriel Okara, Once Upon a Time. There used to be a time when relationships are genuine. There used to be a time where things go absolutely well. When we say ewa jẹun means yes, ewa bá mi jẹun. But these days, if they tell you ewa jẹun, magbawa shibio. But my dear, when you show up, they almost are already looking at her. Can you leave already? So where's the love? It is not genuine anymore. Look at this disturbing incident that I had to bring out. I brought those story. I did not fabricate that one myself. I read it from the Punch newspaper and the second one from the Nigerian Tribune. You can also pick a copy. Check today's dates on. Check for today's headlines. You will see it there. They all made the front page safe. That's like the height of it. What exactly is happening? Because these are not just news stories. They are signs. They are deep. They are painful signs that something fundamental is broken. Something fundamental is broken. How can you make a vow in the presence of many people and then you say, I'll be with you through thick and thin, and it is the same you that will decide that his pension is near, I will kill him so I can get the pension. So when they pay him, he will not be the one to enjoy it. I'll be the one to enjoy it instead. Lots of nonsense and rubbish and shenanigans that are happening. Once rooted in trust, respect and communications, is now being tested in ways we could never have imagined. Was it not just last week I was talking about how some people lately, and we cannot blame them. It's the kind of society that we now find ourselves. You just leave your spouse and say, okay, let me go to, let's use Canada for instance. Okay, maybe you have traveling plans, and maybe one person's own was the first one that actually, clicked, and then you move to Canada. While you are expected, can you really trust both partners, the one in Canada and the one in Nigeria? Can you trust each other? That's why we now have pranksters, all in the name of influencers, getting more followers on their page, because that's what people like to watch. And the truth is, many people fall prey of these things. And that's because the other partner does not trust that and the wife too is thinking, lots of these things are what we see on daily basis. What happened to that rooted trust that we used to had? What happens to that respect, to that communication that is now being tested in ways that we cannot even imagine. Small tests like this, we are falling bow. The foundations of our homes is cracking under the pressure of, modern challenges. Insecurity is part of it. We cannot rule that one out. Financial strain. Next person that is wooing her or wooing him and has money, they will tell you one shulokpolo. Like Yoruba really have names for things. So one shulokpolo. A old man is taken away from his wife and would go and camp with somebody else in another place. All in the name of what? Gangan. And you will see wives, we know that is like a common thing, where wives will leave their spouse because they cannot just, Ọlọ́run ṣògo. Do you understand? So, financial strength like this, that's not temptation. Igbo. Broken trust, emotional neglect, a lot of rubbish, a lot of things are really happening lately. So that's why I'm asking, what is responsible for this growing crisis? Where husband can just decide, I want to kill my wife. Was it this year or last year that I was talking about what happened at very close to us here? It's a tragic story where the wife stabbed the husband to death. And these are people that have been married for how many years? Maybe 2 or 3 years. I think they just had their first child together. And all that the woman could think of was to kill the husband. And there are incidences, because it is after the whole thing had happened that some person now came out to say that the husband has always been abusing the wife, and she had had it up to here. And the last one that now broke the camel's back, the last straw, was when the man slapped her again. Already. What are we now seeing? So or when we keep having this growing crisis of broken bonds, my dear, we're going to be nobody's going to be happy eventually. It's not going to end well. Why are our relationship failing? Kí ló fà á? And what can we do? And that's what we're going to talk extensively on for today. And I really appreciate if you can also put a call through, share your own thoughts about things like this. Kí ló ń fà? What is happening? What is responsible for this broken bond? This same person that I've said, Mo fẹ́ràn ẹ, I love you, oh my baby, I can't eat without you, you are the kinikan in my kinikan. And that is it. And you now get married, and all of a sudden you switch. Everybody just snap. Ti gbàgbé, ó ti mú mi gbàgbé, ó ti gbàgbé gbogbo ẹ̀. The love, the beginning, the foundation, the friendship, in the mud, everything. What is happening? Why are our relationship failing? What can we do to change this narrative? That's why we have relationship talk segment. Quick break now. And by the time we return, we're going to continue from What do you think will happen when love becomes wicked? When love becomes a battlefield? Peace will die now, and violence will thrive. Come. Oh, I do not want to come and point finger. Time to heal. And when there is broken, And where there is pain, there is also an opportunity for purpose. So what we need to do first to change this narrative, to the best of my knowledge, is that we have to return to the basics. Communication. That's the thing. I know we stress communication a lot. We hype it, if there's a word like, of course there's a word like that. But the truth is, many of us just talk. We don't communicate. You say, mobile, in many ways, you can decide to nag all through, lament all through, or yell all through, speaking on top of your voice all through, and you say you're communicating. We must learn to talk again. We must learn to listen too, and not to reply. But when they say one, you two, you want to fight that pẹ̀lú méjì. Hey, lára bá mi sọ yẹn mọ́. Kíni? Èmi ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. You're, God, it's a lot, actually. But we must learn to understand. See, in many relationships today, silence is louder than words. Even with silence, you are communicating something. If somebody is saying something and you're saying, do you know that we can hear a sound? We cannot hear your words. But that sigh is reading a lot of meaning to that person, or a sarcasm. The home could be like, oh, deep thoughts, that's wisdom. It could be anything. So silence sometimes is louder than words. So we cannot overemphasize that too. Let us break that cycle. Speak your truth and let your partner speak theirs. Healing begins when understanding is allowed to enter. So communication is what we are going to do first, to make sure that we heal and we rebuild this broken bond. Communicate. Learn to listen and learn to speak out. Speak your own truth. That's your own side of the story. Let your partner too speak their own side of the story. When you speak out, you don't have to say that I disagree. You are shaking. Lot of things. Let's communicate well. Healing begins when our understanding is allowed to enter. Then another thing that we must do is that we need to prioritize emotional intelligence. That's the thing. It is not enough to be educated by books or in books alone. We must be educated in empathy. We must raise our children and young mentors. Mentor young people. Not just to be smart, but to be kind. You have to be emotionally mature. A woman faking her own kidnap is not just a criminal act. It is a cry for emotional support gone unheard for too long. As much as nothing justifies what she had done. But 3 houses before ours, when I was growing up, this house, they call them Akperoja. I don't know if that's a surname, but I feel like that name suits them perfectly. Because every morning, they must fight. Husband and wife, children and their daddies and their mommy. They will fight. Akperoja. And the fight will so escalate such that people will gather. If they don't fight in the morning, they will fight in the afternoon. If they don't fight in the afternoon, they fight at night. and they call them Akweruja. I don't know if that's their surname, but it should.
Comfort Estate near Circular Road, Ajia, Matako, Ibadan. There is accommodation for installment payments. Enjoy 500,000 naira discount on any land or property you buy at Comfort Estate, Ajia, Matako. Contact Anijat Homes and Properties at Tinuade Complex, Ginorere 2 of Alakia Iyano Church, Ibadan. Telephone number is 08167979307 or 08165767385. Anijat Home and Properties Limited. Totality of real estate is our mandate.
Alright, welcome back. It's still Pillow Talk, and this is still the relationship talk segment. But I feel like if that's all we do today, it's actually worth it. And I've said two things that we can do to actually help, get these things right, and to ensure that this thing is copped early now, or now, before it spreads all. But at least, one thing that I know a responsible man should to do is carry cutlass to at least make that environment safe for the children. But you know what this man does? He does not do any of those things. So what he does instead is that he sits and we even instruct the wife, oh, give me please, this kind of father, the children, he has, at least I know of 2 sons. He has 2 sons. These sons too will grow up and will probably act the same way their father is acting now. Values are not taught to want to commit such a crime. But as we are doing all of these things, we must also create systems, that prevent such crimes in the first place. Counseling and programs that empower women and men emotionally and economically. So what am I trying to say in essence, just to round off for today? See, my people, we cannot pray away what we must also work on. Sometimes if you say prayer, nobody's saying you should not pray. But we cannot always pray. What am I even saying? You cannot pray away what we must work on. We must not only pray for peace in our homes, but we have to act it. That's what I'm saying. Act towards it. It's something we can do. Because a society is only a strong one as its relationships. And together we can rise. I believe so. Thank you. I really appreciate it, and I pray that peace will return to our homes. And that genuine love will return to our homes. We just need to make conscious effort. We need